your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us. Another wonderful Wednesday's edition of Talk Today. We're going to excite, invite, entertain, and hopefully, get you in the space and the place where you'll be a part of the Vocals for Locals. You want to know more? Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255. Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon, welcome back. And not only because it's the season why we can celebrate and sing and give praises, but we can do much to show the charitable nature of our community. And I'm honored to be able to have this time to share with our friends, particularly within the Filipino community. So Dion, it's a pleasure to welcome you back. Thanks for bringing along such an entourage.
No, it's our, we are very happy and honored to be here again with you, with your support all the time with Radio Cayman. Again, we're presenting to you a first in Cayman. It's called Vocals for Locals. It is actually a singing competition to raise funds and awareness, in fact, for the Cayman Food Bank, who helps a lot of locals here in Cayman every week. They said they feed about 500 families every week.
Yeah, I've had a friend yesterday share, 500 a week. That's a growing number. And we see it globally as well. Statistics from the US and the UK are showing similar sort of demands on food banks. So it's good that we're able to. But this is special because we're getting to bring the communities together.
Yes. Can I say a little bit how we made it?
Of course.
I mean, Ferdy and I was just sitting down in my place drinking a bottle of Corona.
No, but
that's true. And then I told Ferdy, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna do something for like singing, that involves the local community, something like that? And then Ferdy suggested
it was actually Christmas singing
yes
that we are thinking, and then suddenly after a battle.
Yes,
that's what happens, right?
Yeah, and we kind of change it. We want to involve the whole community. Mm-hmm. It's not only about the Filipino community. It's everyone. It's the whole local community. And we met the management of Hard Rock Cafe about it, and they were very excited. They said, yes, let's do it. Immediately they said, go ahead. And then they said, why don't we put in Corona to be part of it as well? So that started it. I mean, it's just...
if we have the coronavirus, what became the Corona beverage? Let's put it in the mix.
So
not a good joke.
So when we started meeting, of course, they were asking us, what are we gonna name it? Is it gonna be Got Talent? Is it gonna be what are the other?
A lot of names.
A lot of names come up,
and then it was the Corona people who really thought about
this name, right?
Name,
yeah.
And then they met again, and it's a new name for us to hear.
Yes.
To involve locals.
Yes.
So and it happened.
Yes, and the objective happened because
Yeah.
there were about 10 nationalities that joined us for the whole competition. There were almost 100 who auditioned on that 4 weeks of audition that started in October 7 every Friday at Hard Rock Cafe. And it trimmed down to the judges decided to choose among the singers. They reduced it to 33 semi-finalists. And I've been from the start till the end, all of them, even the one who auditioned, they're all very good. I promise you, they're all very good. We wish they're all champions, but there will always be.
We kind of got the World Cup going on now, but this is sort of our singing World Cup. Right? All the nations gathered, one cause.
Yes.
The finals on the 3rd. I was driving by the Lion Center the other day, and you're out and about, and you know something's happening, but you kind of forget, and for some reason you're driving and you know where you need to go, and you don't realize that I'm almost there. And lo and behold, to my left, the Lion Center's a light.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was. And everyone was surprised with the finals because each contestant were asked to do their best. They can create their own show. So each contestant made their own show. They had a backup dancers. They have their own backup singers. They have lights, there's smokes, there's bubbles. It was like an amazing show.
Yeah.
Right? And we didn't expect it that way.
Yeah. I was asked to be a backup too. Apparently I was backing up so far that I was in West Bay doing Lion Center. Is that far enough?
Yeah.
But it worked. But I'm excited because this is what I think, as you were sharing, the idea of bringing the community together.
Yes.
We can look at our, ESO's statistics, in particular census. We can hear about the many different nationalities that live and work here. But we're all family. We're all one. We're all people. And yet, sometimes we delve so much into where we're different as opposed to the things that bring us to Miss Caitlin Tyson. You remind us of why we have that unity, why we need to have that community, why that strength is there.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really important. And I actually met Dion last year because I was putting on a Christmas musical, Saving Christmas Island. I came in and we spoke about that
awesome,
too.
yeah. And
so I got to actually meet the Cayman Bayanihan community, and I was inspired by how hardworking they are, how dedicated, and really they jump in, and really try to make the best out of any situation. They give their all, and I was really inspired by that. And we did an amazing show, so I was really happy when Dion reached out again for me to be a judge for this for Vocals for Locals, because it was amazing. I joined during the semifinals, so the 33 performers he's talking about, these weren't no little kids off the street. Everyone was so amazing. I was blown away. And I'm constantly blown away by the talent that we have in Cayman. I'm always talking about it because we really do. I don't know, maybe there's just not enough spaces like this for us to showcase what it is that we have going on here and to amplify people's voices. But I was blown away from the first minute.
And I'm glad you referenced that, and I wanted to sort of bring that in because we don't appreciate within our Cayman community, irrespective of where we originally came from, for how long we've been there, the fact that we're here, the talent, whether it's the artistic, the academic, the athletic, the talent is here. And the willingness to share that talent, and seemingly the willingness for that talent to be embraced. But we're not making the transition between the local stage and that next step. For some, it's just fun. They want to exist within their space. But for some, it's a dream in the making. And we could do that here. When we come back from the break, part of the discussion, maybe we could showcase some of that talent here.
I'm excited for that.
Yes. And why not? Consider how we can make our contributions, not just to the food bank, but the continued charitable, sort of ethos that exists within here. Let it be something that is a semblance of all of us in that spirit of giving. All right, when we come back, got a special treat for us. Miss Caitlin Tyson, she'll host it for us, right? Yeah. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Savannah Pharmacy saved my life.
Really? Was it the medication they got you?
No, not this time. I forgot my wife's birthday. They were the perfect place for last-minute shopping.
That's one way to give yourself heart failure. Don't wait last minute for Christmas. Savannah Pharmacy is stocked up for Christmas right now. Gifts for men, women, and children. Home decor, clothes, toys for all ages, fragrances, candles, handbags, and so much more. I was there the other day, and trust me, they'll even wrap all your presents too.
Savannah Pharmacy, a lifesaver in more ways than one.
Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village provides you with more than just prescriptions. Always just around the corner with everything your family needs for this holiday season. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
And if you had purchased land 30 years ago, it may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Kim and Brack and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
The Board of Trustees of the Chamber Pension Plan invites our members to attend the annual general meeting on December 7th at 6:30 p.m. The meeting will be held at the Chamber of Commerce Boardroom in Governors Square. Come out to meet our trustees, receive performance updates, and take part in our question and answer segment. The National Pensions legislation strongly recommends that all pensions contributors and retirees remain involved and informed on their pension plans. Refreshments will be served. Please visit our website, chamberpension.ky, or email admin@pensions.ky for further details. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
Increase your chance to win during the Rubis Pure Joy promotion. Don't miss Top Up Tuesdays at Jose's Rubis. Reflections offers you gas for less. Earn a stamp each time you spend $25 at Jose's Rubis. Collect all 8 stamps and you're entered to win cash, laptops, phones, and smart TVs during the Rubis weekly giveaways. Plus a grand prize of a piece of land in Grand Cayman, valued at $150,000.
What? Are you serious?
Ensure that you're healthy and fit before you visit with family and friends. Reflections offers 2 lateral flow test kits or 10 stylish black surgical masks for only $10. Purchase Reflections gift certificates for your loved ones and get entered to win a $150,000 piece of land during the Rubis Pure Joy promotion at Jose's Rubis.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us. And thanks too for this opportunity to not only showcase vocals for locals and the funds and awareness being raised for the Cayman Food Bank, but to be able to sit with such excellent company. Mr. John, thank you, part of the Filipino community, for coming along, and for allowing us to have an excellent company as well, Ms. Caitlin Tyson. It's good that we tie our talents together, that we bring to the table not just our time and our treasure, but the fact that we have this passion and enthusiasm and the skill sets. So, Ms. Caitlin,
absolutely,
you help us.
Yeah, I'm always happy to be at Radio Cayman. You know that?
Feels like home, huh?
Yeah. Since Youth Flex.
Yeah. See, we grow them early. We make sure that we prepare them for the future.
That's why it makes a difference for the support, So that's why I'm really happy to have been able to judge Vocals for Locals. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about that judging criteria now. So we were judging based on tone quality. That was about 40% of the score. And then dynamics and musicality. So yes, it was about the vocals, but also about how you understand the stage and how you're going to tell the story of your song, which leads us into the mastery of the song, interpretation, stage presence. That was about 25% there. And then, of course, audience impact, because we want to make sure that you bring your people out to make sure they're cheering for you. But if you want that extra 1% was if you can win over everybody else in the crowd that didn't necessarily come to support you, but just undeniably you gave everyone chills. They understood and they're on your side. So that's the kind of stuff we were judging on. And as Dion mentioned, for the finals, the contestants were able to create their own show. So you could have choreography, you could have dancers, you have a smoke machine, you could have a movie playing in the background. You know, anything. But we also understand that sometimes all of those things could actually hinder your performance, right? So it's up to you if you can handle dancing and being on stage and still getting our attention and having a great vocal performance, then you're on the right track. So we were really, really happy with how everything turned out. And we had some amazing judges as well. We had Mr. Kirk Donald, as well as Mr. Ralph Lewis, myself. We had Miss Rachel Lapa, right? Lata. And Matt Brown, of course, and Mr. Woody DaCosta, as well as Miss Catherine Tyson. So we had
imagine the judges, full house.
So it was pretty intense. You know, we were sweating, we were crying, we were trying to figure out what we were gonna do. And then, of course, during the audition round, we had Ruel Hewitt. It was really great mixture of judges and looking for different things from our different experiences and skill sets. What was really fun, we were talking about during the break, was the intermission. We had some local artists as well. We had Georgie Duarte, who came out and like hyped up the crowd.
Yes.
Yeah, and Mikey Famous. So we were showing different genres of music as well as showcasing the contestants in the competition.
And this is where it takes many hands, you know. But when we come and we celebrate and we recognize, hopefully, you know, from this we can continue and build, grow, and encourage, inspire, get more and more people on board, and not feel as if, you know, we're the speck on a map that has little or no impact, but be like the seafarers of days gone by, where we conquered the world, we traveled the world, we contributed, because we know all these people in this one place.
Right, and I think it just starts with first not doubting yourself and your abilities to reach those dreams, but also if you have a community that's able to support you and help, you know, and also believes in your talent, that it helps so much. And that's a lot of things that I talk about when I'm mentoring people who are also looking to get into the field that I'm in, is that, you know, in other countries, they don't take no for an answer. They know if they keep working at it, they keep working, they'll get there eventually. There's enough room for everybody to shine. You know, there's a space for you because you're the only person that is doing what you can do, you know? So never think, oh, I can't get into this or I can't get into that. But that's why this was very inspiring, because our semifinalists were all so different, and that led us into our finalists, and then we got to our top 6 completely different vocalists who are doing different genres and making the songs their own. And I'm so happy right now because we're actually joined by the winner of Vocals for Locals and also one of our top 6 finalists. But I'm just going to let you know, big up the top 6 first.
Yes,
we had Miss Judy Ann Kalimlim. Yes. We had Shari Aspute and Melody Knox and Apple Capiro. Yes. And so we have here Mr. Jose Zambrano. Hello, Jose.
Hi.
Yes. And we have the winner of Vocals for Locals, Maritis Perida.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Yay. Where the hotkeys are.
And I'm really happy that they're here because they really did blow us all away. I had chills from the moment Jose opened his mouth, from the time when Maritis came out with the smoke machine and the bubbles and the twinkling lights and everything. It was really beautiful. So,
and I'm really grateful that we have this opportunity, and I'm hoping that people, as they listen, they start to draw nigh, you know, and near to each other, to celebrate, to come together, because we're all one, you know. And you guys have, as Ms. Caitlin was reminding me during the break, we all have our lives, our professions, our day jobs, but we all live and work in the communities. And so as we see and interact, let's share that love. I don't know, you know, Jose, if you're as nervous as I am, man, but we can do it two ways. I'm excited to hear some of the talent being showcased here, but I'm also want to hear the story as to why. Some of us we'll sing in the shower, whether we sound good or not. We'll stay in the shower. Some of us will do just for family, but it takes a lot to be encouraged to go on stage. Money aside, awards aside, promise of fame and fortune aside, it's that initial jitters that you have to overcome. Would it be okay to ask, Jose, you first? What made you want to do it, man?
Well, in my case, it was about sharing, honestly. I just wanted to share the experience with my loved ones. I wanted to share the experience with my girlfriend and my brother, my sister. They were there helping my nephew. So it was something that it was going to be the first time that they were all going to be there. I have been living here on the island for 9 years so far, and most of the experience has been not without my family, right? So, but they were here at the time, so it was a beautiful experience to share with them and to share with everybody else. It's always a great thing in a great community when you get musicians together. Yeah. Musicians, that's music. Music is a universal language, so the beauty of it as well is that it doesn't matter where you come from, you understand the same chords. You understand the same songs, and for example, people from all over the globe have heard the same song, and it's like, I'm a fan of this singer, and you connect through that. And it's like, I've sing this song in my country, I have sung this song in my country as well, and so you connect, right? You create a community. But it was about sharing mostly. It was about sharing the experience with my loved ones and sharing with everybody else that was there. But also, I really liked the cause. It was for the Cayman Food Bank, and I was just very happy that it was not just a competition to showcase talent. It was not just a competition to, okay, I'm better than you. That was not the focus here. The focus was like, how can we help? Yes. And I really liked that. I'm all for that kind of stuff. So that was the things that push me to do it. Yeah, you always get nervous, of course, right? If you're not nervous before a performance, that means you don't know what you're doing. You're not nervous before a performance, especially if it's in a stage with so many people and recording. I mean, you guys had the YouTube channel live, and it was really nice because you were able to also share again with people from back home. Hey, here's a link, take a look. Yeah, that was very nice.
Awesome. Ms. Bertus, what about you? What made you want to do it? What was it like when you were on stage and going through all of the different first round and straight to the finals?
It's very overwhelmed though. So that time, very nervous, and I can't imagine how my friend helped me a lot with that contest. So it gives me inspiration to everyone. It gives me inspiration. It gives me thinking that I have to win for my family, and also I have to do this for the sake to help the Cayman Food Bank, and also I did this also to inspire everyone who has a talent and to show them how the talent is important, that God gave us a talent, so we have to show them. We have to appreciate what we have. That's it.
And that's it. It's what I say. Never hide your, light on the bushel, right? And that inspiration, that motivation, I think that we can do sometimes will cause some people to say, you know what, I can do this too. You give them that courage. And that's amazing. Mr. Lin, are we right on that side? How will we be able to do this? Okay.
So right now we're going to give you a little taste of the talent that was on display at the Lions Center. So I hope everyone's ready for that.
All right.
and watch us where we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
La luce che tu dai nel cuore resterà a ricordarci che l'eterna stella sei nella mia preghiera.
Let this be our prayer.
Quanta fede c'è
when shadows fill our day.
Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be saved. Sogniamo un mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di giustizia e speranza. Ognuno nostro vicino, simbolo di pace, di fraternità. La forza che ci dà il desiderio che ognuno troviamo intorno e dentro a sé. Let this be our prayer.
Let this be our prayer.
Just like every child needs to find a place, guide us with your grace,
Give us faith
so we'll be safe. E la fede che hai acceso in noi, sento che ci
Bravo, bravo! Bravo! So people listening, they would think, right in our studio, we have Bocelli plus Celine Dion, right?
Yeah.
So like music, like math, like Maldini, it's all universal.
Wow.
Yes, Caitlin. Wow.
That was so good.
And remember,
Start crying.
they never practiced this. This is the first time they sang together.
But and the little bit I understand about performing, you guys are seated around a table. The acoustics in here is nice, but we're not on stage. In terms of a final performance, and that sounded amazing. I joke not when I say you could easily close your eyes and be caught up with it and thinking this is a live performance Celine Dion being accompanied by. He has the look as well, Miss Caitlin. So your job was
It was extremely difficult because everyone was coming at such a high level,
Mhm.
and I think everyone really believed in the cause and wanted to prove something as well, you know. And I think a lot of people who are probably listening right now, you know, they're probably used to, you know, doing karaoke on the weekends and stuff like that, right? But if they saw a competition advertising like this, they'd probably say, "Oh no, I can't do that." But you won't know unless you put yourself in there. I've seen so much talent at a karaoke bar, you know, and I'm wondering, why aren't you using that for something? Even if it's just a hobby, just share it, you know. And I think that's the fear that we have that sometimes stops us from taking that extra step. So I think you'll be surprised how many people started in church who started, you know, by just singing a little bit here and there with their family, or, you know, and then it just grows and grows. So never doubt yourself.
So when we come back from the break, can we ask more about, you know, where we are, perhaps future plans?
Oh, yeah.
And if it's okay, can I get an autograph for 2 for All right, we're gonna pause and take that break.
$10 a pop.
Busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
JN Money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vamps Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamps Motors, Walkers Road.
Attention all food vendors, farmers, artisans, and craftspeople. The Ministry of Culture and Heritage invites you to take part in Cayman Christmas, a celebration of culture and music, on Wednesday, 14th of December, from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. at the West Bay Heritage Park. Vendor stalls are free. All who are interested must register by Friday, December the 9th. Make sure to call 623-8825 for more details on this.
Tune in Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. for the Daily Sports Report, covering local, regional, and international sports. Proudly brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us. And if you were tuned in and you heard that music just now, you were wondering, wait a minute, are they on a music break? Yes and no. Yes, we were showcasing, the wonderful talent live in our studio, and as part of our talk today. Now, Miss Caitlin Tyson, I can see why the Filipino community would have reached out to you, not just because of your incredible talent, but the passion and the love, the kindness that you have for all of us, to be able to bring your skill sets and strength to help, navigate, judge, help to encourage. It's amazing.
Thank you.
I was asking Mr. Dion, future plans and the like. This was the first time, last weekend.
Yes.
I think those who knew about it, were privileged to be able to be a part of it. Like so many things, despite being a small place, many of us find out the day of, the day after, and we go, man, if I only knew. But even if we knew, we probably couldn't have because we got so much on. But we got a date for next year already, so we can tell them now.
Well, I'm so excited. That's why Miss Caitlin is here. She would expound it later. But when we had this event, we were fortunate that Honorable Kenneth Bryan went there, and he was like shocked with the performance of all the contestants and the program that was made. And Caitlin will expound further what he said, but he wants to jump in. In fact, he wants to have the first meeting within this month for the next event. All right, so that's how we are excited right now, and we want all the locals to join in. We have a lot who went in. That's the purpose of this, is the vocals for locals. The whole locality here in Cayman, we want them to join this contest.
There's a lot of promise and potential, Ms. Caitlin, within the community, and even if we were just focusing on the music aspect of it, from the performing to the writing and the like, and many of us are aware that many of the international sort of known singers, just even limited to those who sing, they visit, they live, they have some connection to Cayman. Let's leverage what we can to ensure that our people who are here, whether they've been here for generations, they've only been here for a short time, that they can benefit from the time that's here, and they can accrue great dividends to inspire future generations of performers and the like.
Right, and I think a lot of that comes from having support, having sponsors that come on board. Once you have that bit of support, then it's easier then to be able to move forward, and to actually encourage other people and have people recognize your talent. So I think it's amazing that Honorable Kenneth Bryan is so eager to be a part of it and to help us, because that means that we might not need to wait until November, December next year. It could be in the summer.
Yes.
So it's just about, how do we reach as many people as possible? Because there was already about 100 people that came to audition. How can we have 300? Because I know I see 300 at the karaoke.
Yeah.
I know I see you guys. So how do we reach everyone? Not everyone has social media. Not everyone reads a newspaper, or not everyone listens to the radio, and we're such a small community, but how do we get...
It could be a number of, whether monthly or quarterly public auditions where people are performing, and as they get into it, and then maybe the last quarter of the year, as the summer sort of wanes and it gets a little bit cooler, you have more and more of the final sort of preparation and push. And then we have the great performance culminating in the Christmas.
And I mean, this was amazing because the winner, Miss Maritus, she got $2,500 CI dollars. That was the grand prize. Tell us a little bit more about the prizes.
The grand winner received 2,500 CI. The second is 1,000 CI. The third prize is 750, and then the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth received $250 each.
Hey.
So that's and all thanks to having sponsors
Yes,
that are able to
Corona and
do that.
Hard Rock Cafe.
So for next time, it'll be even bigger and better. And these, as you heard, that talent, they deserve that kind of that sort of recognition. So I thought it was an amazing event.
Something that Ms. Meritus shared that I liked. It wasn't just and I think Jose did it as well, the prospect of winning and being the champion. It wasn't the lure of the prize money, which is great. Sometimes we need a little incentive, we need a little help financially. It was the cause that brought you out. So maybe more people, Ms. Meritus, would understand the cause, also being sort of incentivized by bragging rights, but by a little, gifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. All right. where do we go from here then? I mean, I have the news break, but I want to say thanks. Maybe final thoughts, Miss Caitlin, and then.
Well, I just want to say that Vocals for Locals was an event that was not to be missed. It was amazing, and it's only going to be bigger and better next year and hopefully every year after that. So if you are out there and you have talent, you have interest in any of the arts, then make sure that you're pouring into yourself and you're believing in yourself, because we are here and we're looking for you. We're wanting to put people on stage and inspire more Caymanians, more locals to believe in themselves and to just do it.
So crucial. Mr. Dion?
Yeah. So again, I'm excited for the next season. It's gonna be sooner than later, definitely. We're not gonna do probably December, because there's a lot of things going on in December. It was so challenging, but we were able to push it up. So thank you very much for all our sponsors, Corona and Hard Rock Cafe, and thank you to Mr. Dwayne for this wonderful time that you provided us. Thank you for all the contestants, to all volunteers, officers that came up in, and of course to all judges. The judges actually the one that made the show really nice, because they're top caliber judges from different walks of life, but they're all inclined to music. That's why they were able to choose the best singers, the top 6. I'm lucky I'm not there, because I might be in the mental hospital right now, because there were really very good singers, all of them.
You pick them all, right?
I'm gonna give them all the grand prize, 33 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really, really very good.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to hide when someone is here and they didn't win. I said, "Oh, what do I get to say to him?" But they're really very good, all of them, and thank God for everything, because God is our guidance to all of this. It was very successful, because without Him, it's not going to be successful.
Amen. Yeah, thank you for that. And Jose, thank you very much. Ms. Meredith, likewise.
Thank you for having me here.
You know what, if I was having a bad day, not anymore. I wasn't, but this was even better. And to you, Ms. Caitlin, thanks as well.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
All right. And now that we see the Honorable Tourism Ministry coming on board through the Minister, maybe more of us would appreciate. And, what was, as Caitlin shared, 100 becomes 1,000. What was 5,000 maybe becomes 5 million. We never know what the prizes would be. We have the resources. Let's encourage the talent. All right. Congrats again. Let's pause. Let's take a break. And when we come back, more talk today.
Radio Cayman, the voice, the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. Today's biggest news.
The Honorable Kenneth Bryan, Minister for Tourism and Transport, has been named as the Caribbean Tourism Minister of the Year in the Caribbean Travel Awards 2023 CTA. The Caribbean Travel Awards are hosted by the Caribbean Journal, and it's regarded as the region's authoritative celebration of travel excellence. The 2023 edition of the CTA celebrates honorees in 21 different categories and confers the Caribbean's highest annual honors in recognition of outstanding contributions in their respective fields. Congratulations, Minister Bryan. Good afternoon. I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. 25 people have been arrested in raids across Germany on suspicion of plotting to overthrow the government. The group of far-right and ex-military figures are said to have prepared for a Day X or Day 10 to storm the Reichstag Parliament building and seize power. A man named as Heinrich XIII from an old aristocratic family is alleged to have been central to their plans. And a self-proclaimed prophet in the United States had more than 20 wives, some of them younger than 18, the FBI has said. Samuel Rapilly Bateman claimed it was God's will for him to engage in sexual acts with his wives. Bateman, who is 46, was charged in September with destroying records and obstructing justice in an investigation into whether children were being transported across state lines for sexual activity. The details come from an FBI affidavit filed on Friday. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born September 25th,
1947, at Watering Place, Caymanbrack, Royce Adolphus Dilbert was the firstborn son of Hallen and Grace Dilbert, née Tibbets. Like many of the men of his time, he spent many years at sea. During his breaks from sea life, Mr. Dilbert employed his diverse skill sets. He worked at Alfred Scott's block factory as a mechanic with Eston Scott, and his uncle Bergman Dilbert performed dynamite blasting in Caymanbrack with the late Reverend Lee King, as well as worked at MRCU in Grand Cayman. He was also an entrepreneur selling fruits, cars, and tires, and painted and repaired vehicles. His mechanical skills proved immeasurable when in 1979, working in the Campeche Bank oil field, Mexico, his ship was chartered by Halliburton to supply material to cap the exploratory well which blew out in Mexico's Bay of Campeche. In 1981, he retired from sea and took employment with the Caymanbrack Power and Light Company as chief engineer, where he remained until his retirement in December of 2018.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks for joining us, and it was a distinct pleasure just then to be able to, showcase and share with you the incredible talent that we have in, opportunity to see on a regular basis within their community. And now, as part of the continued activities, the Tourism Attraction Board, the director, Mr. Patrick Thompson, joins us. And as he was just sharing, for those of us who experienced, life before 2020, it was memorable. And I remember that even December, just walking the road up to the Pedro St. James, to see the people, to see the Christmas festivities, to be able to not just feel that Christmas breeze coming off the sea, but to understand how people are starting to enjoy life. And now we had a hiatus, but we're back. So tell us about it. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on board today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us today. And, it's wonderful to be back in the month of December and to be just on the brink of Christmas celebrations. And of course, at Peter St. James, we want to welcome everyone from the community to come and experience Christmas at the castle. It was something I thought would be interesting from way back in 2019 when we had the very first Christmas at the Castle event. And of course, we had it also in 2020, very successful.
Yeah.
The community enjoyed it thoroughly, and we, I remember back in the I think 2020 celebrations, we had the unveiling of that Coca-Cola bottle with the Cayman Islands crest, which was a good surprise at that time. And so we didn't have it in 2021, but we want to ensure that we have Christmas at the castle this year. And 2022 is going to be big, it's going to be good, and I hope even better than the previous years. So we have lots of goodies lined up, Sterling. We have Santa is going to be there for the kids as well, for them to have that photo opportunity, and we'll have gifts. We're going to have local vendors in place, and just lots of goodies all around. I don't know. I think you were there one of these years, weren't you?
Was there both.
Both years.
Yeah,
there we go.
And interestingly, the 2019, something you just go and you enjoy it. And then recognizing in 2020, where we were in history, where we were within our own Cayman community. And as people started to be less tentative, but somewhat still reserved about socializing and watching interaction, the fact that it was Christmas and the spirit and the setting, you could see whatever anxieties they may have had, hesitations, just gradually sort of wane as the evening went on. For me, advisedly, park out, walk in.
Right.
Right? And that was helpful, but it got you to a space where that little walk, made the blood a little bit, circulating a little bit better.
Right.
Which was good because I kind of partake of a few of the goodies that were around. So the walk back helped to take that away. But it was fun. What makes this time around to you even more special? What are you hoping for?
Well, Christmas is special because we're celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And I know we have different religions, different people of different races, creeds, ethnicities on island, but it's not just for Christians or people who believe in Christ. We want everybody to come out. This is an event that will bring people from all walks of life, as we would say, together, because we want to celebrate. We have made it to the 12th month of the year. That's something to be grateful for. That's something to be thankful for. And it's just for us to get together. We are here and we are doing our part to make the Cayman Islands what it is. So let's all just take a break and come out on Sunday the 11th and just have fun. We're going to be hearing Christmas carols. We're going to be hearing a bit of poetry. We're going to be seeing dancers. Lots of things happening. I'm going to give you the names of some of the people later on. But it's important for us for me to state that at Pedro St. James, we've been having lots of changes. Things are happening. People have talked about even the restaurant up there, Thatch and Barrel. I don't know if you've been, but yes, definitely. Yeah, and good food. So if you just wanted to come up there, have good food, and spend some time over at Thatch and Barrel, and then pop over to hear maybe a few Christmas carols, that kind of thing. It's just going to be fantastic. We're going to have local vendors there as well. Lots of different people will be there. But we're going to charge a small fee for entry. And it's not even a charge. It's your donation to the National Historic Site, because we're trying to get a wheelchair accessible walkway or pathway built. And we have funds from the previous events which we're putting towards that. But I think we're about just about a quarter of the way, and we need 3/4 more to just complete that. And any sponsorships or donations, funds, and what you pay at the gate, the $5 will go towards that purpose. And at the end of the day, we're just going to be enhancing the site, making the site better. And of course, people who have young kids and strollers will benefit. Not only those who are in wheelchairs, but definitely those in wheelchairs will benefit. And we're trying to do something to ensure that even those who are in wheelchairs who can't go up the stairs of the Great House, they will have an opportunity to experience the Great House in its full on the first floor. So there's some other things in the pipeline that we want to do after this wheelchair accessible pathway.
And that contribution, as you shared, can be a community effort, and it doesn't. Well, maybe you will be able to share what's the projected cost for that.
Well, that will cost us in the range of around just under $25,000, and we've raised just around $6,000 of that already. So we're hoping that some sponsors will come on board. I'm actually waiting today. Hopefully, I'll get a text message back soon that I can name one of these sponsors that we're expecting to come on board to donate significantly, and that will definitely help us cross the line.
Okay. Yeah. And this is the accessibility. It creates, for many, as you shared, not just a wheelchair, but when we think about it, the parents who have young children in some stroller, it's challenging sometimes just getting across particular pavements. A little bit more convenience makes things a little bit more accessible.
Absolutely.
And maybe not only make it more enjoyable, but we actually allow people to consider, I'll go there, I'll do that. because of the accessibility.
And we've had complaints from many of the ladies in these tall heels. They don't want to walk through the gravel, and when they do walk through the gravel, I think they have to discard those heels after that. So it'll be good for them as well when they're going to come to weddings at Peter St. James, because Peter St. James is famous for some really good weddings and all kind of good stuff.
With that, Sunday, what time you were hoping to start? Christmas at the Castle this Sunday. All right.
We are hoping to start at 6 p.m. on the dot, and we normally go for 3 hours, so it'll be 6 to 9 p.m. And we have a whole lot of artists and individuals who are going to be performing. We have Miss Vashti Bodden, we have Dexter Bodden as well, Jessica Watler on violin, which would be really good. Savannah United Church, and they have a children group and they have an adult group, and we have Michelle T and Radiant Dance Studio. They'll be performing some really good dances there. We have Shari Espute.
Shari Espute?
Yes, Espute. And Mia Groves as well. And Caitlin, who just left the studios, and we heard a little sample there of what they could do. And those individuals, I spoke to them. Well, I spoke to the engineer just now to make sure he could get these wonderful voices out there on Sunday for us as well. And we have Junior Hines on saxophones. So quite a bit.
Yeah, and this is where, again, not just the opportunity to showcase the talent, but for us to be looking for a family-oriented event. Given all the activities that are going to unfold and the demands on the time, a few hours to unwind, as it were.
Absolutely. We're going to have local vendors there as well. So if there's anything that you need to pick up, we have Exquisite Edibles, and they deal in pastries. We have Cayman Boba bubble teas, and the Clifton Hunter High School will be there, and they'll be selling beverages, snacks, and glow items, that kind of thing. TNT Novelties, Bread for Life, fish and vegan patties, and Jay's Food Vault, conch fritters, fries, nachos, and the like. So we have, it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be where we can have kids come out, and we're going to have all of those little items with lots of lights that will be there for you to purchase for the kids, for them to just run around and start, get into that festive season, get into the Christmas spirit. And always remember, it's a season of giving. So we shouldn't be thinking about all that we could get, but what can we give? What can we do for our brother, for our sister, for anyone who's in need? There are quite a few elderly people who don't have any children looking after them right now, and for whatever reason. But we need to find someone to just show them some love.
They say it's better to give than to receive. Huh?
Absolutely, that's a good book.
In giving, we don't realize how much we do receive. Once we give from a cheerful heart, without compunction. Right? I like the environment that you're creating. What is Pedro, and accessibility now. For some who are wondering, I think you've organized something with the parking as such, so there's convenience. And
absolutely. We have a Pedro, a TAB shuttle, which we use to transport guests, tourists, and so on at times, but we will be using that to transport people from as far as countryside. If I'm expecting lots of people. So even if you have to park there will be a shuttle that will take you from there right to Peter St. James. And when you're done, the shuttle will be there to bring you back. We have 2 shuttles that we could use, and I think they can accommodate 10 and 15 individuals, respectively. So we can just transport people back and forth. And guess what? It's also good to take a little walk, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be nice. Make sure you wear your sweaters because you're going to be by the sea. I am anticipating that it's going to be a nice, cool evening.
Prayerfully it will be, yes.
Yeah. And we have a raffle as well that's going to be happening. And you could buy raffle tickets. I think they're just going to be a $1 or $2 but we have tons of prizes from all different places in the Cayman Islands. We have a prize from Mart's. We have prizes from Casanova Restaurant, so you could win a ticket or so to a gift certificate, I should say, rather, to go to Casanova Restaurant. We have also prizes from West Indies Wine Company. We have prizes from, let's see here, what is this?
I'll lend you my glasses, but I have the same struggle, my friend.
I'm looking only at the
logo, no?
The logo, so it's a little bit difficult for me. But it's a hair spa, and it looks like it says the Blue, and we have logos. I'm sorry, gift certificates from them. We have gift certificates from Tucker as well, and we have gift certificates from Agua Crown, Next Chapter PDs, and so on. So lots of things. Tomlin's Furniture, Simboco, and also Chicken. So if you like chicken, then you could
good lunch,
get some gift certificates there. But the important thing, come out and be a part of this. We want to see everyone out in their numbers. Make sure you bring the kids, because we're not going to allow any adults to sit on Santa's lap. He might just topple over. So we'll allow the kids.
No big kids, huh?
Right. But we'll have the photo opportunity, and that's usually under the gazebo, and that's a nice setting for a family photo.
DJ Linda's remind us that either you or myself win that hair spa, we must give him the prize, all right?
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, you hear him, huh?
I hear you.
Oh, man. But we could use a day at the spa for you here. No?
There we go. Well, you know what? Maybe they'll give us a facial or something else if it's But lots of prizes. I've only mentioned a few, and I'm going to go out on a limb here. We've been waiting to hear from the Ministry of Culture. They have been sponsors in the past, and we so appreciate what they've done for Peter Castle, what they've done to make sure that this event goes on year after year. And I haven't heard from them just yet, but I know I'm going to hear from them before I leave even the studios today. But a big shout out to the Ministry of Culture and the Minister of Culture, of course, the Honorable Bernie Bush, who supports this event, and previous ministers of culture who have supported. And because this is a cultural event, this is something that brings people together. We want to celebrate the rich Caymanian heritage and culture, and like I've said, Peter St. James, the birthplace of democracy. Where else would be better to host Christmas at the castle?
And even the way you've named it, Christmas at the castle.
Yeah.
In the past, when she was over there, Miss Mona Lisa would come in, and the enthusiasm, the joy, those two occasions, to see her in a team, busily bouncing her over the place, ensuring that the talent is ready to go on stage, the vendors are all prepped, and then just the enjoyment of all of us who've attended. For many, it was an opportunity to just unwind, have a chat with someone that you
haven't seen for a long time, right? Because now how I catch up with people, occasionally I'll see them in the supermarket.
Sadly, that's probably where we socialize, right?
Yeah.
So here's an opportunity to do that, but deliberately, and get some of the food items from the vendors. I recognize many of the names. I recall, the last 2 years, and it was enjoyable. And it's Christmas. Give yourself permission to partake of some things that you probably won't get very often, no?
Exactly. Don't worry about the weight. Don't worry about anything like that right now. You can make your New Year's resolution if you eat too much. So I'm giving you permission to eat a little bit more than normal. And then come January, maybe you start cutting down again. But we need to be happy. We need to celebrate. Life is short. Let's live good with each other. Let's just make the best of the time we do have. Because at the end of the day, according to a good book, if we do what we should right now, we'll all get together on the other side, and we're just going to be having a wonderful time. Walking those streets of glory by and by, as one songwriter puts it, right?
Amen. But I think we're called to do as much as we can here.
Absolutely.
In preparation for them, but to ensure that that fellowship that we have
Yes.
is one that is wholesome. And with all the demands that are being placed on us, whether we're preparing for our concerts within the churches or schools, whether it is the community initiatives, this is the time to fellowship and be a part of the Christmas at the Castle.
Absolutely, and remembering the reason for the season.
Amen.
God sent His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish but have what? Eternal life. And it starts here, remembering that He sent His Son for this purpose, to die for our sins. So let's celebrate Jesus Christ. Let us celebrate together at Christmas at the Castle.
Man. So Thompson, I appreciate that. I think oftentimes we forget sometimes the things we do, and maybe because of how we school, recitations come easy to us. Maybe how we school we don't like necessarily to read, we prefer to do. But there's a way to interact with each other and appreciate, as you shared, what we do have and how precious it is. It may not be 3 scores and 10. Some of us may be blessed to see, beyond the 100 mark. But we all know that there are many who don't see the half century.
True.
And with that, we got to be mindful to embrace and to give thanks and, to pray with and for those who are still with us.
Absolutely.
I'm prayerful that it'll be an excellent evening on Sunday for 6 p.m.
Looking forward to it. And of course, we have to give a shout out to Brent McLean as well, who's assisted with the music and the whole setup there with sound in the past, and he continues to assist us. We're so grateful. And to all others who participate, the entire Peter St. James staff. And of course, we don't have Mona with us this year. Unfortunately, the ministry took her away from me.
They recognize great talent.
Yes, but I still love the ministry. I have to, don't I?
Publicly, yeah.
But yes. And so, of course, we are just... I think I didn't mention the MC, but the MC will be none other than Miss Catherine Tyson. So that's Caitlin's mom. Yeah. So we're going to have a wonderful time there. And Santa will be Mr. Santa.
Mr. Santa. Mr. Claus is on hiatus.
Right. And we have Will Photography. They'll be taking care of the photos the entire time. Will Bignell, he's again one of those who's been around and always been there to assist Peter St. James. So we're thankful to all of these wonderful people who make this happen year after year. And the team at Peter St. James, they're fantastic. We have some of the best gardeners, some of the best tour guides, some of the best admin people, and just want to shout them out now and just say I am grateful to be a part of the entire team.
And that's where we are strong, which we stand together.
Yes.
We unite and we recognize, appreciate, and somehow, make time for each other. So, thanks very much, man. So, Sunday, 6 p.m., Christmas at the Castle?
6 p.m. Well, I'll tell you this. I've been saying this for a long time, but I didn't even realize. And in church the other day, someone told me, when they say, be there or be square, I was wondering, why do they say be square? And somebody pointed out, this fellow, John Mark, pointed out to me that they say be square because if you are not going to be there, then that means you're not going to be around. So you will be a square. So if you're not going to be around, then be square. So we're telling people to make sure that they
be around.
Be
there. Huh?
Yes, be.
See, you learn something new and you share it with someone else.
Exactly. So make sure nobody's a square on December 11th at 6 p.m.
All right, just not a square, not a triangle.
Not a square, not a triangle. Be around. For
around.
Christmas at the Castle at Peter St. James.
Come New Year, if you're a little bit rounder, it's okay too. That means you're festive a bit much. Well, I'm hoping and praying that it will be a resounding success.
Yes. And one last thing. I have a member of staff who gave birth to a bouncing baby girl this week. So to the Simpson family, Lorian and John Mark, we just want to wish them all the best with that wonderful, beautiful baby.
And the birth of Christmas, huh?
Yeah. I'm telling you. I didn't get the name yet, but I just wanted to make that shout out. Yeah.
But this is, again, thank you for saying that public, because we appreciate what it is to be alive and the life that we can add to others' lives.
Yes.
The joy, the contentment, the fulfillment, by just being there.
Absolutely.
And being present, being willing to share. And it's amazing this time of year how we can find ways to help each other. And this is one, as we help ourselves.
Absolutely.
And the final thoughts you want to share with us?
Well, I just want to say thank you to Radio Cayman for having me at this time to promote this event. It's going to be a wonderful event, as I've said. It's we have created this just for the community. We want everybody to come out. It's a wonderful sight, and so many times I've heard individuals have said, "Oh, I haven't gone out to Peter St. James," and people who've lived here for a long time, people who have born here, they haven't gone out to see the site. So we want you to come out, and it's like they would say, poor man's market. It's $5 to enter. We're not really charging anything. We just want a donation to go towards getting this walkway completed. And like I said, big thank you to everyone, and I'm thanking every individual, those from every district, even West Bay. Even West Bay, meaning because it seems so far. It's not far. Nowhere in Cayman is far, in my opinion.
The return journey is shorter.
But I want the West Bayers to come out. I want the East Enders, Northsiders, everybody, Boddentown people, come on out. Savannah, everybody who's in Savannah should definitely be there. Prospect people, wherever you're from. If I fail to, you know what, I'm going to even invite some people from Little Cayman and the Brack. If you're in the area,
send them a ticket, man.
Yeah. But we just appreciate all of you, and we're thanking you in advance for showing up and being a part of this wonderful event. Make sure you're there, right?
Well, this Sunday, Christmas at the Castle from 6 p.m. And it's going to be another wonderful evening. I'm glad that you were able to put it on. I understand last year's challenges, so
yes,
we'll start anew.
Exactly,
right.
exactly.
Well, have a blessed rest of the day and a very successful Sunday evening event.
All right. Thank you so much.
Let's pause and take a break. I'm interested to know what is happening in our parliament. Send out a couple of messages. So if you know, hey, call me during the break and let me know. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Savannah Pharmacy saved my life.
Really? Was it the medication they got you?
No, not this time. I forgot my wife's birthday. They were the perfect place for last-minute shopping.
That's one way to give yourself heart failure. Don't wait last minute for Christmas. Savannah Pharmacy is stocked up for Christmas right now. Gifts for men, women, and children. Home decor, clothes, toys for all ages, fragrances, candles, handbags, and so much more. I was there the other day, and trust me, they'll even wrap all your presents too.
Savannah Pharmacy, a lifesaver in more ways than one.
Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village provides you with more than just prescriptions. Always just around the corner with everything your family needs for this holiday season. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
They say variety is the spice of life. And that's why at Subway, we're introducing the new Boneless Hot Sub.
Say what?
The premium sub brings new ingredients like spicy breaded boneless chicken, French's crispy fried onions, and buffalo wing sauce, bringing a zesty and flavorful experience with every bite. Add some of your favorite veggies, cheese, and ranch sauce of your choice of freshly baked bread for the ultimate boneless hot sub. For a little spice in your life, try the new boneless hot sub from Subway.
So good and tasty.
And make it a meal with a drink and chips or cookies. Subway. Eat fresh.
HSA's Cardiology Clinic is now located at Smith Road Medical Center. Our cardiology team provides expert care and treatment for heart conditions such as coronary artery disease, heart failure, arrhythmias, hypertension, congenital heart diseases, among others. The new location offers state-of-the-art cardiac diagnostic testing, including echocardiograms, ECGs, and stress tests. To contact, call 949-8600. At HSA, your heart matters to us.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
The Kirk Freeport Christmas Sweepstakes is back again, and for our 50th anniversary, we are giving away $50,000 in cash and prizes. Win one of three $5,000 cash prizes, a daily cash prize of $1,000, the Rolex draw on January 4th, or loads of other great prizes. Every purchase of $100 before noon on Christmas Eve qualifies for all remaining prize draws. Win your share of $50,000 of cash and prizes in the Anniversary Sweepstakes. Full details on KirkFreeport.com. Merry Christmas from everyone at Kirk Freeport.
The 6:30 p.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britcay. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us. It is open line as we invite you to be a part of our discussion. 949-8837, 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. It's another great, blessed day to be a part of all. For some of us, we'll get into the fray. For others, we'll say, well, let's make some hay while the sun shines. Others, let's see where the wind will blow us. And for many, always trying to figure out how best we can navigate our own paths, instead of letting it be dictated by others. Well, I was asking if you were able to give us a shout and give us an update on what is transpiring within the Legislative Assembly. A lot of parliamentary bills have been introduced. I think two are relating to the digital ID. Have gotten a lot of airplay, as it were, from people, but there are other legislation that is coming before the House, and as a fine gentleman reminded me last evening, it is one thing for the country to have the competence and the credibility within its elected leadership, but it's also another for its people, in particular its electorate, to be informed, to understand, where certain of the agendas are being had. And I wanted to share maybe two things to see what your perspective is. The first has to do with the whole issue of how legislation is sponsored. The example sometimes given is that relative to the financial services sector, they may see a need not only to be compliant with international obligations, but perhaps to be responsive to needs of clients, and as such, certain amendments to legislation, or certain new pieces of legislation may have to be introduced, and that, we're told, will keep us at the forefront, the industrial leaders. But oftentimes, some people will share, well, is it the government's role to be the strong proponents for certain pieces of legislation to sort of convince the populace that this is, what we should be doing? Case in point, relative to development and their proposals, for consideration of increasing the heights of buildings. And we know that the Deputy Premier, Mr. Saunders, talked about 30 stories at one of the chamber functions recently. The former Premier and former Speaker, Honourable Mr. Bush, shared similar, his parliamentary motion his private member's motion asking for consideration being had to increasing it to 20 or 30 stories. Many people would say, well, we don't have that much arable land, so what do we do for farming? We don't have that much buildable land, there's a limited amount of land space, so do we need to go up as opposed to out? But someone has said, whereas in other jurisdictions, we may have people who are termed and paid as lobbyists to ensure that a government looks after certain things or ensures certain things go a certain way. But in the Cayman context, is it that role sometimes is one where perhaps innocently, very inadvertently, is being borne by the parliamentarian from the influence, for want of a better word, by others to say, consider this, perhaps, propose this, have this piece of legislation introduced or amended. And if so, is that how it should be unfolded? Maybe in the early days, maybe not so much now, or maybe more so. But what is your thought? Is it for the elected members of the House to be, quote-unquote, quasi-lobbyists to some extent? Or is it that they are there to ensure that they provide the framework through laws, through policies that ensure that future generations are benefiting from the country's investment and expenditure in roads and other capital developments in education and healthcare, and provide the opportunities for people to make their way, to provide, where necessary, the social safety net, the term transfer payments, as economists would often use in the past. Those things that help in a society to assist members of the society where there may be a shortfall. Now, we may call it social security, social services, and the like, but it isn't and should not be intended to insult people, but to help them along. And during U.S. President Clinton's administration, he perhaps talked about workfare as opposed to welfare. But when the government can provide that need to step into the gap, should it also ensure that through its legislation, through its policies, its agenda, that is providing the opportunity for people in this country to be successful and not necessarily have to rely on government for funding for everything, to be dependent on government, but instead create within the people a greater sense of industry, independence, entrepreneurship, a sense of pride, and a sense that what the government does will benefit the wider community and not, as perceived by many, to be at the expense of some to benefit others. Well, give us a shout and let us know what you think about that. And then secondly, here is something that we want to read of this sent and see what you think. It says, why the parliamentarians and his members will now debate the national ID and other topics, one that is not receiving attention but threatens to broadly impact free speech beyond the responsibilities of the press and actually impede ordinary citizens, is the proposed contempt of court law. It removes self-protection to not incriminate yourself and the right to remain silent. This needs some serious public discussion, as it states a crime will include, refusing to answer questions if you are called as a witness, and also, publicly commenting on a court case on social media or online news articles. And as some have shared, the notion that we should perhaps look more closely at the proposed legislation, the proposed amendments to existing legislation that come before the House, following the much public commentary recently regarding the national ID, the digital ID, and the registry and the like. Some have shared, well, should this be a case where there is this 28-day consultation period, or should it be that here is proposed legislation, it comes out, time before, and then there's that public feedback, education, input, and then the bill then comes out for consideration, and perhaps the 20-day period might just start then, but you already had a time before, you're aware of it, and there's been opportunity to comment because this may have been 3 months, 4 months, 2 months. Now, some would quickly share that it could be a year before many people are still not engaged. They'll not only refuse to engage, but if they do, they may wait to the very last minute. Now, that may be the case, but others will take up the opportunity if it's afforded. Now, what do we do and how do we get to that space, and what happens? Some have asked when the Legislative Assembly meets and it passes, whether unanimously, whether by a majority, a particular law into being, and now, or the bill into legislation. What happens then? Is it then too late? Is there a way? Well, hopefully we'll be able to get it. Well, 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. Let's pause quickly, take a short break, and invite your calls. Please stay tuned for Talk Today.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
It's the final sale of the year at Reflections with up to 50% savings on selected famous brands such as Nike, Reebok, Puma, US Polo, Adidas, Levi's, and Dockers pants for men and women. This holiday gift-giving season, Reflections gift certificates are the easiest way to share your love with friends and family. Levi's and Dockers holiday collection just arrived. Discover your new style and enjoy huge savings on shoes, bags, accessories, and the most fashionable clothing for all your holiday parties. Hurry in today. Purchase Reflections gift certificates for everyone on your shopping list and outfit yourself from their finest holiday collection. Don't miss up to 50% off savings at Reflections Holiday Sales Event. See yourself in Reflections. Open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Thursday and until 9 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Reflections is located on Shedden Road across from Napa.
In order to assist with the development of local farming, the Department of Agriculture would like to remind farmers of the on-farm artificial insemination services available for cattle, goats, and pigs. For more information on the service requirements or schedule an assessment appointment, contact the DOA's Veterinary Services section at 916-2218.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. It is open line here now on Talk Today as we invite you to be a part of a discussion. 949-8037, 1-800-534-TALK. That's 1-800-534-8255. Or you can WhatsApp 925-3261 and share your thoughts with us as we look at a couple of these other email messages or WhatsApps that come through. People sharing their thoughts. Now, one of our listeners has shared, and perhaps you can, take up the invitation. The person says that we keep talking about development and who we're developing for, and that population is increasing. And the person says, yes, we can see increased traffic congestion. We can see the impact, but that is just short-term pains. This writer advises that perhaps the challenge is we're not sitting down and actively planning what is it that we want the country to look like in a longer period of time as opposed to every 4 years or every 10 years. What is and is there a national vision for a century, for instance, say for the next 100 years? And then secondly, says that as we build it, they will come. As an adage that is often used, this person writes, do we need then to look at putting in the necessary infrastructure, deciding that not only do we want 20 stories and 30 stories of commercial buildings and mixed retail and hotel and the like, but what about higher density or residential communities? Now, are we looking at the high rises of the future, the person asked, or are we prepared to continue to build the way we are, not just increase density in certain areas, but by transferring some areas, and it gives us a couple of examples, perhaps I'll share them, to national parks, more open green spaces. And I sent a message back to make sure that I wasn't misreading and misunderstanding. This person shares that many times, and he referenced that he heard it earlier today to the Seafarers Park. That is the site of the old Tower building. There was a groundbreaking there. This person's view is simply that sounds good to create a park there, but what would be the benefit of that park? How would that benefit? And suggests instead that we reconsider a number of things. If we're going to redevelop Georgetown, then the need for greener spaces is evident. But could that particular property be better utilized as government structures, whether for the courts or for it says the Legislative Assembly, so I'll say we call it the Parliament now, the House of Parliament. Are there other things that we could use that? And then suggest that across the street where we have the port and the terminal, could we create a seaside park somewhere in there? There are the kiosks, there are the lots of concrete. Now that may be difficult to create, but he's suggesting, is that possible? What about acquiring some of the other surrounding buildings and using them in tandem with the park for more government accommodations? They also suggest that the site behind the Georgetown Public Library, is it possible to create two things on that site? High-rise parking together with a park-like setting, so that you drive there, you park, but you also have space. And now the caveat, the person says, not an architect nor an engineer, but if we're looking at green spaces and the use of existing limited land space, what are we doing? Also suggests a couple of the properties that may or may not be government owned, but could they be for additional sort of development? Let's take this call. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling Dwayne.
Good afternoon. How are you today, sir?
I'm not by Kenneth Ebanks or Clyde, whichever way you want to call me.
Man, we can't think of Clyde and not think of the Cubs that he had, man. So I still reel from that beating. First time I realized that I can dream about being Pele, but unless I have his skill, I will never be. Good to hear from you, sir.
Likewise, man. Likewise. How you doing?
I am blessed, man. Thank God that I'm healthy. You know, a handsome face that my mama would love, but otherwise than that, you know, made for radio.
Oh, wow. Mr. Teflon.
My friend. My friend. It's all good, though. It's all good.
Yeah. Happy to hear that, man. Happy to hear that. So calling and say one or two things. Where do I start?
In the middle.
In the middle.
Work your way out.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Recently, again, several members of government have supported, advocated for increasing building heights up to 30 stories. So going from 10 up to 30. That's what 30% increase.
If we look at the math, yeah, certainly 3-4, right?
Yeah. Now back in the 70s, we had hotels up to 4 stories, condos 3 stories max. Then in the 80s, we up to 7 stories. Then in the 2000s, we up now to 10 stories. So it's been somewhat of a gradual increase in building height.
So some would say insidious, you know, incremental increase, but no, full tilt, huh?
Right. I, for one, support increased building heights generally, because we have a very, very small landmass. It's finite, and it's small. So going up, yes, is more beneficial generally than going out. Having said that, I think it was the DART Foundation that a couple of years ago talked about 50 stories.
Is that the iconic building or that's something different?
Yeah, quote-unquote iconic building.
I thought it was 100 stories, but okay, I just wanted to go. I heard different iterations were being considered, you know?
Okay, well, I thought the last premier talked about 50 stories.
Okay, sir, okay.
I could be wrong too, but I thought it was 50 stories.
Okay.
And the deputy premier talking about that could help solve our housing crisis. I mean, who is going to do that kind of building and put, quote-unquote, low-cost, low-income, affordable housing in it? That's where our housing crisis is at. The lower-income person. That's where we need to address our housing crisis.
How would we, and this is where I think we fail to appreciate that, and I trust and pray that not only am I saying it respectfully and responsibly, but that you'll accept it, and it's not just a compliment, but we have people like you whose expertise and experience, for whom government has invested in education, like many like you, and yet we're not willing to maybe listen to some of the comments that are being shared. So how?
Know that all during my time in government and towards the end as director, I always gave my opinion, my best opinions in the given time frame that I had to prepare them. Whether or not my chief officer or minister actually supported that view, I didn't tell them what they wanted to hear. I told them what I thought was the correct thing to do. So maybe that's why some others like myself are not sort of in government's bosom, so to speak.
Because people who, if I hear you correctly, who don't say what the ears want to hear, then somehow they're shunned.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a polite way of putting it.
Oh, yeah. You might be able to put it much more succinctly then, huh?
No, man, no. Yeah, so that, or, supporting a 30-story building, that has many, many implications.
Mm-hmm.
Or 30-story building has many implications that go just beyond going up 30 stories versus 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one thing. I just mentioned briefly, the Honorable Minister for Tourism talked about now extending the runway and redeveloping the airport. And, I mean, the peak on the last renovations and additions isn't dry yet, and we're now going to go and do it all over again. Why? There is no vision as to what we want these islands to look like in the next 20, 30, 50 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Every 4 years, something different. Now, if I heard correctly, or read it correctly, is that we're talking about a 20-year plan for the airport. Great. But what about a 20-year tourism plan?
Mm-hmm. And they should go hand in hand almost, huh?
No.
Okay.
You do the tourism plan first, and when you determine roughly how many visitors you're expecting to accommodate annually, then you can determine whether or not your existing airport is sufficient to accommodate your anticipated growth. But again, we're putting the proverbial cart before the horse.
Yeah. We have the news break. Are you in a position to join us after, or you need to?
Well, I'm about now to head out to try and do some chores, and I don't particularly like to drive or talk on the phone while I'm driving. So
you're a man who sets a good example, so we respect that. But maybe sooner rather than later you'll be able to rejoin us again and share some more of your insight.
Gladly.
All right. Trust you get through with those chores of yours, and be able to enjoy some of the chocolate that may come your way.
Thanks, and good afternoon to you and all the rest of the listeners.
And to you, sir. Always appreciate the call. I know many of us have not partaken of the sea salt and dark chocolate for many times, so maybe that'll change as the Christmas unfolds. Let's pause and take a break, and we'll return. We'll join our callers. Stay tuned.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
A special workshop is held after a dramatic increase in suspected marriage or civil partnership of convenience cases. Since the beginning of 2022, Work, Compliance and Enforcement Unit has investigated 175 marriage reports received, of which 114 cases resulted in adverse findings. 25 cases remain pending investigations. 20 RERC certificates were refused, 12 forfeited, and 5 mindful to revoke. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. A bill to restrict the private ownership of big cats like lions and tigers in the U.S. has passed by unanimous consent in the Senate. The Big Cat Public Safety Act would stop people from keeping the animals as pets and from them being exposed to public petting and photo opportunities. Efforts to curb private ownership have increased in the wake of the Netflix documentary series Tiger King. The bill now needs to be signed into law by U.S. President Joe Biden.
And Elon Musk has criticized San Francisco Mayor London Breed over an investigation into offices turned into bedrooms at Twitter's headquarters. The city's Department of Building Inspections is investigating potential violations of the building code, local reports say. Mr. Musk accused the city of attacking companies providing bedrooms for tired employees. This after the new Twitter boss recently demanded staff committed to long hours or left. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us. And as we go into the sort of winning inning for this segment, let's go to our phones. Welcome, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Sterling.
Hey, how are you?
Not too bad. Right here. How are you?
I am thankful. And thanks too. I appreciate, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Sterling, some time ago, a couple of months ago, there was something out about children being duct taped at their school. But I didn't really got into it because I didn't really believe that it could happen. And I didn't really, go that depth because I'm like, that don't happen in the Cayman Island, or it shouldn't happen in no part of the world, So, one of my cousins has a grandson going to the school, and it is true. And the fact of the matter is, Sterling, apparently this individual teacher made those kids go into the Bible and wrote from the first chapter to the 80th chapter of the Bible. I can't recall what chapter it was now, but to 80. And then apparently they have a group chat, and they said that some parents is all for the duct taping and some is not. Starting that school there was Christian, was found under Christian environment, good education, good principles, morals, and you could just go on and on about that school when I was being run by the people from Hagerstown and some of our local teachers. It was the greatest school, that and Triple C was the greatest school, I would say, here in the Cayman Islands, And I'm so appalled to know that it was real, and no disrespect to any nationality, but the fact of the matter is they're not even our local teachers that is doing these things in school, and if they could be more harder penalties coming towards these children. Are they in some country that don't have any morals and respect for our young children and doing the right thing to put them in the right path of how to learn to have respect and so forth to be a good citizen of this island?
But
what is happening?
Your questions are certainly timely. We could also ask, are there things also happening in other schools that we're unaware of? Are there more acts, whether it's to help to instruct and guide the children, to punish, or to otherwise just ignore, some behaviors?
Sterling, when a child going to school years ago, they would let the child stand in the corner. And God forbid who went to Miss Gleed up for the school, may she rest in peace. You were slapped in your hand with a piece of what do you call it, leather strap, you know what I mean? And kids are put in corners, and he would probably hold a book or something, or write so many lines, or 50 or 100, I will not talk in class, or what the case may be. But, a child is a child, and a child will grow into an adult eventually. But some things should not be in school, especially that kid that I didn't take it serious. I didn't look into it until I was confronted by my family member that it is true. And I'm not saying it wasn't true, But when she brought it now to me, it's like, it really was true.
Yeah, it was so unbelievable that you couldn't believe it, huh?
No, I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to say that parents out there, your child is your child, and you need to make sure that if your child is having any problem in school, you need to follow up. When you hear a child talk to a parent, try to talk to a parent, listen to your child. Any person want the truth is from a child, is from, I would say, from 2 up to 10 years of age, because you know they're getting bigger now and they can start to twist their words and all that kind of stuff, and their friends tell them, don't you tell the truth, don't you tell the truth. But when your child says, Mommy, I want to talk to you, find 5 minutes and talk to that child, because it is too much things going on in the world, and it's trickling down right here in the Cayman Islands. And that school, I am so heartbreaking to know that went from what it was to what it is now. It is terrible. It's terrible, but I will not get no more details about it because it has already passed, and somebody need to look into that school and make sure that doesn't happen anymore, and those teachers treat them children as if they are students and not criminals, and they're not out there. They come from a home. They have a family. They are loved at home. If you don't love them in school, you shouldn't be teaching. You should not be teaching.
As I listen to you, I'm looking at 2 comments from our listeners, and just quickly trying to, if I share with you, one is saying, I can understand why some of the parents would agree with the teacher and why some would disagree, and sharing is that part of the problem. We don't have, and just in quotes, this national vision as to what education and discipline and that sort of instruction should be like. This person writes that it's one thing to have an education law, a national education plan, but is it a collective buy-in, and not only from the educators but also from the parents and understanding? This same person writes that went to school and discipline was, as you've referenced, standing in the corner writing the lines, but asks the question: is that an appropriate way now to instruct and to discipline students?
Sterling, what is the right way these days? What is the right way?
Yeah, that is
I know that taping not the answer to the solution. That child not belongs to that teacher. That is a mother's child. If that mother home is that taping her child at home, well, more power to her. The law will catch up with her eventually, but not in the schools.
Yeah.
Not in the schools.
It is kind of interesting that increasingly maybe we always have, but perhaps now it's more so, not appreciative of what discipline and the idea, like the caller prior, like the reference I made. Do we have a national vision, as the caller said prior to you? Every 4 years we're sort of catering to the political flavor with respect to development. One of our listeners sharing, I referenced, the education plan, and saying there isn't even a national education plan, and I'm wondering, what are we doing in our country as citizens, as voters? I know a few have been offended. Why are you picking on the voters? But if we're living in a democracy and we're complaining about the politicians or about government, however loosely we define that, what are we doing as the citizens, in particular the voters, in being engaged, informed, to ensure that we are at least somewhat aware of what is happening? Not that we're going to be doing the jobs of the politicians, nor are we going to be doing the jobs of the teachers. That's why we elect them. Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Sterling, every 4 years, every politician based their winning on our education and our children, our future. And as soon as they get in, they forget the children that they saw based on for those 3 weeks that they run, or 4 weeks, or 2 weeks, 10 days, or 1 week. I don't know how long they run for. But it's all about education.
Mm-hmm.
It is all about our children. When they get in, what happened to our children? I remember Julo Connor came up some years ago and did 150 turnaround at John Gray High School. And the pandemic came after that. And right now, it is back to square one again when it comes to all of the rules and regulations and your dress code and your this and your that. Now we got a new school that's going to be opening soon, which is John Gray. I just hope that they have some real strict rules and regulations on that compound when it's coming to taking care of that ground with the garbage, taking care of those buildings and the seatings and the environment. They got to learn to hold responsibility. And I hope that their parents will tell them, hey, kids, you're going into a new school. Please help keep it in order. Help the teachers, help the government that got it there for us. Let's just work together and make sure that we got the best of the best John Gray High School continuing in the Cayman Islands.
Right. Well, this is it. We need to have pride in our schools and pride in our communities, pride in each other, but pride in ourselves. And this listener, as I read, is sharing that part of the challenge, is sort of what we're speaking to, and saying that the problem is that we don't want to, and I'll use the words because I think their choice words are a little bit different. We're not calling a spade a spade. This person is saying that we can expect, certain outcomes if the people that we have aren't capable of delivering those outcomes, don't have those shared values and the like. And I think that's maybe part of the challenge that we're having.
Well, you never know. Like I said, we all got to get together and get involved, because if you don't get involved with the few Caymanians they're going to go so astray that we wouldn't even be able to recognize them one day, because it has been taken over. But forgive me for saying it. I hate when it comes to see the other nationalities that we have amongst us that they're grabbing everything they can grab. And when you see graduation go on, Sterling, and you see the foreign train up on that platform receiving all of the accolades and the this and the that, and when I look and I'm looking to see my set of kids up there, and I'm like, oh no, not another year again. But
Exactly.
I just hope that there'll be some waking up very soon. And that gentleman had called a while ago and talking about the third floor, so forth in this island. Let me tell you something, Sterling. If we go that far, we are off the map when it comes to trying to fight for this country. There's no more saying of how we feel. It's all left to the politicians, planning department, and the poor police officers, and the firemen, and the workers. They got to go to the third floor. They got to look over graveyards. You imagine looking over graveyards now, but someone has a regular 3-bedroom house and have a loft upstairs and decide to put a staircase outside. The next door neighbor going to bring planning in on it, but yet you can put a 6th floor, 8th floor, overlooking the cemetery. Where is the pride and dignity for our people is resting peacefully? Look at the cemetery they had a couple months ago for a condo up here in the South of Hurley. Man, come on, man, what is going down?
Well, yes, well.
It's not good. It's not good, but you know what? God is looking at everything, and when He's ready, He know what to do. He can just surprise all of us, because we need to wake up, because some can run, Sterling, but not all can run. I know I can't run, and you don't want to run. When I see how the planes came in for Hurricane Ivan and took out all of the highfalutin and the few Caymanians that was able to go, you know what I mean? They will send for them again, and we'll be left right behind you with no fish in the water. And God knows I love lobster, but you know what? I just have to eat what comes up out of the water, is a fish or a conch or a young turtle.
I hear you. Thank you. That's fine. All right, you have a good afternoon. Thank you for that. All right, I think final break, and then you call and share your thoughts. 949-8037, or toll free with the compliments of Flow, 1-800-534-8255. Stay
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointments.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
They say variety is the spice of life. And that's why at Subway, we're introducing the new boneless hot sub.
Say what?
The premium sub brings new ingredients like spicy breaded boneless chicken, French's crispy fried onions, and buffalo wing sauce, bringing a zesty and flavorful experience with every bite. Add some of your favorite veggies, cheese, and ranch sauce of your choice of freshly baked bread for the ultimate boneless hot sub. For a little spice in your life, try the new boneless hot sub from Subway.
So good and tasty.
And make it a meal with a drink and chips or cookies. Subway. Eat fresh.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Dwayne Porter will be taking appointments from December 2nd through the 10th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.portercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. Thanks to those who have not only shared their thoughts and calling in, but for who are messaging and weighing in. It's good to see that engagement. As one individual just shared, the person types and says, forgive me for not calling in, but oftentimes when you do, people tend to spend more time trying to figure out who it is that is calling rather than what the person is saying. My 2 cents contribution, and then they go on to share. Cayman needs to put a significant pause on development. It may, unfortunately, happen without us actually doing anything. There is a looming recession globally unless our leaders are not paying attention. The increased interest rates have seen many of our mortgage payments significantly increase, in some cases almost double if we want to retire the loan within the agreed period. I'll just skip through some of the parts. It says the cost of living, which for some may mean that we're justified in the increased crime. Those two should not go hand in hand. Caveat, it says, for those who believe that the response is increased police presence and resources, perhaps they need to think again. The question is, will this community look and face itself square in the face and accept responsibility lies within us? We can blame all we want, or we can point fingers, but the simple question is, have we ignored the problems for too long? As my grandmother used to say, the chickens are now coming home to roost. One or two other comments on that particular message, but let's pause there for a second and ask you, is that the challenge as this person writes? Have we ignored the problems for too long? And have we been chasing, as the inference is, greater wealth, greater sort of personal accolades, and not appreciating that to truly build a nation, it takes sacrifice and commitment. For some of us, that's probably why we look to our seafarers and that generation, not just the men, but in some cases more so the women, who made a lot with a little, who perhaps some would say, well, they didn't have a choice. Well, perhaps they did. And the choice that they had, they made not only the most of what was there, but they did it with the intent to help others as the future unfolded. It was more about sacrifice than selfish gain. Is that where we're perhaps going astray? Let's take one more call. Good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Sterling. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, man. How are you?
Or is it Dwayne, Sterling? Which one?
Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, man. With great respect, and we miss him dearly, Mr. Dolan. There's a West cousin that I don't see him where he doesn't pay a couple of Mr. Dolan.
Yeah, man. I hear it, that my friend just called on the show there, man. I tell you the honest truth, I just love sitting and listen to that woman because
always, huh?
She always have a lot on her plate and her plate and on her table. And I wish we had a politician in the system. She should have been a politician. She should have been in the system today. And I know we would have had changes in this country. And speaking of hearing her speaking about the children, I mean, that has always been a concern for me, knowing and seeing what this country is doing for our children, which is basically nothing, absolutely nothing. I went to an establishment here in Brock some days ago again to do business, and here is another foreign child sitting by the desk. We just had a huge, like I said before, we just had a big graduation with a lot of children come out with good quality. Some, I mean, it was none of them that didn't come out with high honors in that class, graduation class, with the governor sitting right there. And it's so sad to know that our children, I don't know how people look at our children anymore in this country. Really and truly, I don't know. I think they just look at them as to say, all right, we put them in a school, let them go do what they got to do. I go on to my work. I don't care about my children. Basically, that what seems like to me, like they don't really care about their children anymore. I mean, I from one degree to the next, it is so heartbreaking to know that people when we take our children, Sterling, and put in a school, basically what we are doing, we are telling our children, or we're not telling them verbally, but we are putting our children in the care of a different parent hand. And I don't know how the story went on because I never caught the topic before, but I would hate to know that I hear a foreigner or a stranger put their hand on a child, a Caymanian child. I would not go too good with that. But anyway, that's a different topic for another time. But to know that our children has limited opportunities in this country. And we heard our politicians time after time in that meeting, I have it recorded, talking about Caymanians come first. Sterling, I am so, every time I think about that and seeing what this country have, Sterling, our children don't come first. Our children doesn't come first. I just wish they would take that from their lips and stop lying to the Cayman people just for them to get their $10,000, $12,000, $18,000, $16,000 a month. They need to stop lying to the people. I don't care what they put in these schools here to make them look important, just for them to brag on it. They're not doing anything to brag on the children that are coming out of the schools. Material thing is one thing. These are souls, these are children that need something in life, and they struggle 6 years out of school to accomplish, and then 4 years into an institution of a college. They don't have nothing at the end of the day, Sterling. That is heart-wrenching for any parent to sit and think about. Terrible.
But is it then that, as I listen to you, is it that not only are we paying lip service, but worse, as people, right, parents in particular of children in the system, parents of children whose children either have graduated or we have moved them from one school to the next, even from Ireland to some other part, and not seeing the need to remain involved to ensure, for instance, not only is there the National Education Plan, a strategic vision, and not for 5 or 10 years, but for that would impact future generations. What about and I don't like to use this word because I know educators seem to share that many of us get sort of caught up on it, but the curriculum, the teaching method, but also the people that are teaching our children, not just who they are or where they're from, their particular skill sets, everything. Because I think, as you shared, many realize our children spend a great deal of their time within the educational setting, and not just the teacher in the classroom, but the entire staff within the school, the coaches in the different programs. And now, with great respect, and some might say it's long overdue and very timely, we've hired different personnel, including security personnel, where it almost akin from an outsider. Are we in an educational institution or some sort of prison-like setting?
Our children are in a prison setting. That because the whole issue of it, Sterling, when you find these teachers that come here, first of all, they know nothing about the country. They come and they bring their culture into the classrooms. If we're going to hark on or talk about that. And at the end of the day, the children knows not who the governor is, who the premier is. They don't know what a national tree is. No, I'm talking about our children. I'm talking about our children. They don't know where east is from west and where north is from south. They can't tell you the difference between Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and Cayman Brac. I have had children come from Grand Cayman for the first time to come on this island. They come out of school in Grand Cayman, and they don't even know how Cayman Brac look. Not even know how Little Cayman look. I know children here that don't even know who the governor is. I've been asking children coming out of the school different things regarding different islands in the Caribbean. And they can tell me something about Jamaica, Trinidad, one of them Eastern Caribbean islands. But they can't tell me which direction south or north is on a 2x12 island. Sterling, like what I later say just now, man, something is really drastically wrong coming out of these schools. And like I say, I don't want to hark on that because that is a different story for a different time. But what I am talking about is that when the children come out of these schools, our politicians need to stop lying to the people, telling the people that we are looking out for the children of the Cayman Islands. I am tired, even me, which have no relevance or part in any government officials or with whatever. I don't have no part with them. But if they're going to lie like that to me in the front of my children, I don't want no part with them because I've been hearing it for too long. Like what an old man had told the district commissioner here years ago, Sterling. He told him when he went in the office, he said, I come to you this morning, if you tell me your hands tied, I got chop them loose. Sterling, the people need to get that mentality back in the Cayman Islands because our children are suffering and they need work and they have no opportunity, but the opportunity that they were promised, that is all they're living on.
Well, as you remind us, as our fathers taught, promise is nothing but a comfort to a fool, no?
Exactly, a comfort to a fool's heart.
Yeah, man. My friend, always a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, man, thanks. Talk to you again.
Good, man. Enjoy the afternoon, and to the rest of our listeners, thank you equally for sharing with us. We've got another program in school for us tomorrow. If you want to be a part of our discussion, why don't you join us then? And looking forward to that. We'll tell you more about it as tomorrow sort of comes into the wind. Have an excellent, safe, productive afternoon. Remember to tune in to the proceedings in the Legislative Assembly. Be informed, be engaged, be involved, be included. Until tomorrow, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.